Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Sunday morning to you all. So today we're going to finish our two-part series on how to interview management. Last time we talked about discipline cases, and this time we're going to talk about contract cases. What is the difference? In a contract case, the union has the burden of proof, meaning we must show that there is a violation. We must make a prima facie case, meaning just by looking at the facts in the file, does this appear to be a violation? That's what prima facie means, on the face of it. Yes, we have to be able to point to management's actions or inactions and make a contention that it constitutes a violation of the national agreement, local memorandum of understanding, some USPS handbook or manual, or the law, which is incorporated into the contract by way of Article 5. Now, some of the best ways that we can do this is by asking what I call please explain questions. These are the best openers to any interview, contract case interview. Please explain why. Remember, almost every time you are pursuing a contract case, you should be laying the groundwork for, yes, a monetary remedy. We know that nothing else incentivizes management to comply like a monetary remedy, which takes money out of their pocket, out of their bonus, in running the operation in the office where you are. The only thing, no cease and desist, no will comply, no niceties, nice language or interventions will get management to comply like a monetary remedy attached to specific violations. Yes, this is our little secret. Not anymore. We all know what we must do. Here it is. An example of an interview for a non-compliance grievance. I asked this postmaster, please explain why you delayed compliance with RH 03121C pre-arbitration decision from April 15th to November 25th, 2022. He answered, I didn't. He denied it. I said, well, please explain who in management failed and or delayed compliance. He said, someone in HR. I said, please explain why you have failed to initiate the make whole process since you still have not provided the grievant with a PS Form 8038. So his previous answer about HR being responsible is nonsense because we all know he could have easily provided the grievant in 8038, sent this to HR, EGAN, or Labor Relations, or all three, and now the ball really is in their court for delaying compliance. So he had to capitulate and say she will be provided the 8038 tomorrow. My next question then is, what are you doing to ensure compliance with the grievance decision from April 15th, 2022 until now? See, I'm nailing it down that they haven't done anything. They haven't even provided the 8038. The supervisor or postmaster answered, well, I've been communicating with HR. Who in HR was my next question. And he refused to give me the name. He said local services. So we show that he's being evasive. My next question was, you want to place the blame on HR but cannot give me the name of the person? He said, I am not blaming anyone. I'm informing you where the delay is. And so I asked for proof. I said, can you provide any evidence you have been communicating with HR since April 15, 2022 in order to comply with the decision? His answer was yes. My next question is, what form would that communication be in? He said electronic. I said, when you saw the decision was not being complied with in the month of April, what steps, if any, did you take to ensure compliance? So I'm kind of beating a dead horse here. We already know he didn't comply, but I'm closing all doors. I'm closing all possible excuses of contentions management may make later on, surprise contentions. He said, I reached out to HR again. I said, did you ever communicate with the district manager? If not, why not? He said, no, I escalated to my next higher level. Now, here's a good question because remember, he's been blaming it on HR. I said, is HR your next higher level contact? He said, no. Who is your next higher level? He's the OIC at that time. I said, does the OIC have a name? He said, yes. What is that name? And again, he was evasive and said, I would have to go back to my emails and check. So he was OIC, then he stepped down, then he became OIC again during this long period of months where there was non-compliance. Now, this was a straightforward failure to comply case wherein management should have paid the back pay between how much? 60 days. That's right, brothers and sisters. How many of you go longer than that after you turn in an 8038 and don't get back pay? Is your steward or officer filing a grievance for the delay? In this case, they ended up having to pay the grievance $750 for the delay in back pay. Notice how I didn't let him get away with shirking responsibility and passing it off. He can't even answer a simple question as, give me the person's name, showing that he is being evasive. This would only help our case if it were to go to arbitration, as it shows bad faith on management's part.
Despicable.
Yes, interviewing management can be fun. It does not have to be complicated, and the interview can be short. Here's a 2-question interview that was very effective. Question number 1. Why wasn't April Patrick provided any steward time on May 5th, 2021? His answer, because I gave her reasonable time on May 3rd, 2021. So you see how I'm already implying the violation that they were not provided steward time inappropriately, and the only answer they have is, I gave reasonable time. My next question was, are you aware of the 72-hour steward time agreement? And the answer was yes. End of interview. See, the 72-hour agreement doesn't say only if you feel that you haven't already given them reasonable time or you feel that their time requested is reasonable. So we've established that they did not comply, and we asked for the reason why, and that's it. Any further contentions they make at going to step B with this will be new evidence, and it will be contradicting the answer already given. That is the importance of an effective interview with management. You close all doors and you force them into as many positions as possible so that now they're left in a corner. Not even the greatest labor arbitration advocate can argue them out of. We established what the documents show. We established management's motive in violating the contract, and we proved that management willingly and knowingly violated what's called the 72-hour steward time agreement, all in 2 questions. Now, there's a strategy. It's called the direct method. You already have the evidence, and you simply ask management why they took such and such action. So you have a statement that somebody saw them delivering mail. So your question could be, why did you deliver mail on June 1st? Why did you fail to comply with Article 8.5D when you mandated carrier fill-up without maximizing the ODL? It implies a violation and simply asks for management's rationale. So 2 separate examples there about 2 separate contract violations, one for performing craft work and one for violating Article 8.5D. Any way they answer, they are admitting a violation. Even if they state they did not fail to comply, like in the earlier interview. The evidence shows that they did. All the proof we need, thereby again making them sound or showing and exposing they are being dishonest and showing bad faith. Sometimes I let them answer incorrectly if it'll help my contentions. When it won't, I'll correct them in the interview. Lastly, get them to sign the interview notes so that you can establish its accuracy. Again, closing all doors for that arbitration advocate to say, well, this is not what you really said, is it? The union made this answer up in order to bolster their case. And if they refuse to sign it yourself. And this is the language I would put on there. Always first number the questions, and then at the bottom you can state 18 questions and answers accurately recorded with a space for the NALC steward to sign and a space for management to sign. And if they refuse to sign, you just put, you sign it, date it, and write, offered to management, gave them a copy, but they refused to sign. Yes, brothers and sisters, don't let them get away with anything. And please allow me to continue to help you to enforce your rights, and allow me to do more to enforce your rights as president of Branch 1111. The time is now, brothers and sisters. Things have only gotten worse in the last 2 years, and they will continue to get worse without proper training for our shop stewards, without aggressive representation that attaches monetary remedies, and without attacking the workroom floor in order to ensure that you are treated with dignity and respect. Until next time,